tonight on Elon Local News.
Moving away from the mold, residents react to being relocated out of Park Place and how the university is trying to fix the problem.
We look at an app that could make the first few weeks back a little less stressful.
With a member of the freshman class who found her passion through a program that helped her family.
All that and more.
Elon Local News starts right now.
Live from the Jane and Brian Williams studio at Elon University School of Communications, you're watching Elon Local News.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Emily Harrison.
And I'm Rachel Ellis. Here's what we have been following this Monday, September 4th.
There are now 55 Park Place residents displaced from their apartments due to mold and extreme humidity. Jackie Pascal spoke to some relocated residents.
It was only 16 students a week ago that had elevated levels of mold in their apartment, but further testing has identified this is a widespread problem. The number of apartments with dangerously high levels of mold spores went from 6 to 19.
Here's what's been going on, like telling us the details, and then told us like 30 minutes in, it's like, oh, unfortunately you guys are the ones that have like the higher mold count.
With only limited extra on-campus housing options, some students had to move to the Courtyard by Marriott Hotel, given less than 24 hours to pack up and evacuate.
It's just a lot, especially a week into school and you move in the week before saying, hey, you can take all this, but anything that was left out could have mold on it.
The relocated students are expected to be displaced for 3 to 4 weeks. In the meantime, the university is providing transportation to and from the Marriott via shuttle and e-rides.
There are minor inconveniences as far as like work and, outside of class meetings if it doesn't line up particularly with like the shuttle schedule that we have.
The displaced students will also be provided with $150 in Phoenix cash each week, covering meals, laundry, and other relocation-related costs. They'll also be reimbursed for their rent while they're displaced. When Elon News Network asked where this money is coming from, Vice President of University Communications, Dan Anderson, says details on who will pay for these costs will be sorted out in the future, once the total amount and responsibility is determined. Many of the remaining Park Place tenants also have high levels of mold spores, but not enough to relocate them. Those apartments will be getting deep cleaned and have dehumidifiers running constantly. Jackie Pascal, Elon Local News.
Park Place at Elon has been open for about a year, but it looks like it's back to a construction zone as apartments get torn apart, cleaned, and put back together. We calculated the rate for each student for every night they stay in the Courtyard by Marriott based on the rates on the hotel website. It's about $134 per night. Residence Life tells the displaced students they will be back in their apartments by September 30th. If they stay for this full amount of time, it will cost nearly $4,000 per student. We'll have more information on the relocation and costs on our website, elonnewsnetwork.com, later tonight.
Members of the Presidential Search Committee are narrowing down finalists as the new university president's start date is less than 4 months away. The university declined to release names of the finalists or any other details of the process to Elon News Network. However, the president of Elon's chapter for the American Association of University Presidents, Jim Bissett, says transparency is a key part of the process.
Not to have the last phase of the search be open, and not to let us know who the finalists are and bring them to campus. Obviously, the Board of Trustees has the right to do it the way they're doing it. So I'm not saying it's illegitimate, but I think it's a mistake.
You can read the full story on the presidential search and more in this week's edition of The Pendulum, hitting the stands across campus this Wednesday.
And while McEwen Dining Hall remains closed for renovations, other dining halls are seeing more students. According to Aramark Director of Operations, Pulkett Vig Lakeside Dining Hall is seeing 500 more students per day, and Colonnades Dining Hall is seeing 200 more students per day. According to Vig, his staff is busy, but handling the higher volume.
The staff feels overwhelmed because they haven't worked through the summer, so it's starting again. But that goes away again organically. So by the end of the first week, everybody knows their routine again, and the staff is well trained, so I'm not worried about that.
Vig says campus dining will also begin Food Truck Wednesdays next month to help take down the volume in other dining halls.
We're doing no red light, no red light. Okay.
So Emily, were you able to enjoy that beautiful weather, that unexpected beautiful weather we had this weekend?
No, and I was so heartbroken by it. I saw it through a window, just through a window though. I had so much work this weekend, but I saw like everyone was out by the pool and enjoying themselves, and I was jealous.
It was nice to see everyone enjoying themselves the first weekend of school for sure.
Oh yeah, there was such a community feel. That nothing brings people out more like sunshine.
Exactly. Well, hopefully Alex Hager can give us some more good news. Alex, what do you have for us?
Thank you, guys. Well, it was a gorgeous weekend, but there was a little bit of a hint of a coolness in the air, and it is going to be a little cooler this week. But the today's heat, which had a midday high of 87, is going to repeat that again tomorrow. We're going to have another midday high of 87 tomorrow and continue some of this heat. And then on Wednesday, things will cool off a little bit with a high of 72, and that's going to come from some thunderstorms that are rolling through the region. Those will come in the morning and the afternoon and keep things cool for the rest of the week. And then on Thursday, there's not going to be a whole lot of change. The high is a pleasant 76 degrees, but then overnight we'll have a fall-like low of 52, and it will feel like maybe late September. And then Friday and Saturday, heading into the weekend, it'll be about the same as earlier in the week with highs in the mid-70s, and lows are going to be just above 50 degrees to remind you that fall is right around the corner. It is September here. Emily and Rachel, back to you guys.
Thanks, Alex. After the break, we have the details on Elon's nationwide rankings.
And coming up next, we have Shay McCoy live in studio to give you the app of the week.
You're watching Elon Local News.
Welcome back. Elon University has been named a top university by USA Today and College Factual. In their 2018 list of best colleges, Elon's finance, journalism, public relations, and parks, recreation, and leisure studies majors placed in the top 5% of academic programs nationwide. In addition to these programs, Elon was awarded a total of 35 badges of excellence and is ranked in the top 11% of universities nationwide. Universities are ranked based on 11 qualities, and some of the criteria for rankings include quality of faculty, graduation rate, and starting salary of graduates.
And if the beginning of class is stressing you out, our Shay McCoy has just the app for you live in studio. Shay, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Rachel. Hopefully everyone's done their back to school shopping, but it is important to keep your technology up to date as well. And one of the most essential apps that I have on my phone is Headspace. This app makes meditation simple. It provides guided meditation to reduce student stress, improve focus, and create the right conditions for a healthy night's sleep. Most sessions are about 3 minutes long with a narrator who sets a scene of relaxation and explains how you can best cope with stress and anxiety. These sessions can be listened to at home or in a comfortable space, or even on the go. The narrator will talk to you about areas like health and relationship. Each category has fundamental exercises and teaches you those skills like breathing techniques to calm your mind. It is free on the App Store, and all of the content is very user-friendly. I find the pastel colors and goofy cartoons charming. It's my daily reminder of self-care even on those stressful school days. Studies do show with regular meditation practice, students' well-being and academic performance will improve. So start the school year off right and download Headspace.
Thank you, Shay. Now we have Miles Garrett live in studio to give us some more info about what sports will be looking like this week. Miles.
Well, Phoenix athletes are back to work and new coaches make their debut. I have more coming up in sports.
You're watching Elon Local News.
Welcome back. The Maker Hub is expanding. A new office will open in downtown Elon on Wednesday. The new downtown location will be double the size of the original Maker Hub, which opened in Colonnades in 2015. The Maker Hub provides a space for students, faculty, and staff to use 3D printers, work with textiles and fabrics.
And we have Miles Garrett live in the studio to give you the update on our Elon sports teams. Miles.
Thanks, Emily. Well, it was a week of firsts for Elon. Students began their first week of class and a few Phoenix teams even started their season. A couple coaches made their debuts just this past week. We'll start with football. The Maroon and Gold took the field Thursday night against the University of Toledo, led by new head coach Kurt Signetti. The result wasn't what the Phoenix hoped for in a 47-13 loss, but Signetti said there were some good takeaways in the team's first game against a Toledo squad that was the preseason favorite to take its conference. Offensively, Elon started freshman Davis Cheek at quarterback following an offseason battle with fellow first-year Jalen Green. Green also came into the game to show off his ability, but neither were any match for the stellar Rockets defense. Meanwhile, on the pitch, there was another coach making his entrance. New men's soccer coach Mark Reeves, or Revo as he prefers to be called, had his first game at Rudd Field Saturday night after starting the season with a win and a tie. The result was business as usual for a team that has grown accustomed to success on the field, defeating Presbyterian 2-0 after goals from junior Jaden Fortune and sophomore Mikey Thomas. Junior goalie Matthew Yeager even moved into third all-time in school history for career shutouts with his 19th coming in the Phoenix win. Elsewhere, the women's cross-country team came away with the team title at the Elon Open, led by top 5 finishes from seniors Corey Weiss and Bridget Brennan. The runners finished with 40 points, putting them well ahead of runner-up North Carolina with 62 and High Point with 64. Looking ahead to some big games coming up this week, there's plenty to see at Rudd Field with women's soccer having a big matchup tonight at 7 against NC State, while men's soccer will look to stay undefeated at home when it faces rival High Point Friday night. Rachel, Emily, back to you guys.
Thanks, Miles. If I could just ask you really quickly, what do you think we can expect for the rest of the year with all of our sports teams?
Sure. Well, men's soccer and Elon football, as you said, they both have new coaches. Elon men's soccer is looking to be more dominant at home. They've kind of struggled with that before, but look for them to get some more wins at Rudd Field this year.
And Miles, you said you were at the soccer game. What were the emotions like when they took that big win?
Oh, it was fantastic. Mark Reeves is a great first-year coach coming from the MLS Seattle Sounders. He's bringing a newfound energy to this team. Matthew Yeager had that big shutout, again, 19th career all-time, so things are looking up for the Elon soccer team.
Yeah, sounds promising.
Yeah, thank you, Miles. We look forward to seeing what Phoenix Athletics do in the upcoming semester.
And while the Phoenix played last week, students participated in their own athletic competition at SPORTSFEST.
SPORTSFEST! Sigma Alpha Down! Sigma Alpha Down! Bella! SPK! SPK!
Yeah, we're pumped. We've been waiting all week.
I'm a little nervous because the older teams seem to have they're all matching. They have chants and everything. They're stretching.
We're seniors, and it's really cool to watch the first years coming in and get to have a lot of fun and get to know everyone at Elon.
We just got a great group of people on our floor, and we just wanted to hang out with them and have fun.
So we have 3 events. We have the Bozo Bucket Challenge, which is a challenge similar to Hungry Hippos. Then we have a sack race, so you have a partner and you do like a 3-legged sack race style jumping, like down to the other side of the court. And then we have the classic dodgeball, which is good, fun competition, trying to make sure everyone's staying safe.
Dodgeball, absolutely. We've been training for months.
We've been training for a while,
yeah.
So I think we're going to take it all.
Definitely dodgeball.
Hands down, dodgeball.
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 Yeah. The dodgeball.
Dodgeball, a little too aggressive for me.
Yeah.
Dodge, dip.
Dodge, duck, dip, dodge.
Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
I think people just love dodgeball and love SPORTSFEST because it brings you back to your roots. It's like a field day.
It's all about having fun at the end of the day.
Here we are. Everyone's yelling and screaming in the background. Everyone has a smile on their face, so we just want everyone to get started in the year with a smile on their face and keep it going.
Wow, that looks like so much fun. Were you there this year?
I was, and they talked a lot about dodgeball. I can tell you that dodgeball game got really intense. I was standing on the sidelines and I had to block myself a bit. So
I would have hit around somebody else. I am not a dodgeball, but I play a mean potato sack.
Oh man, Emily, you need to, well, you're a senior, so no more SPORTSFEST for you, but maybe those intramural leagues once you're out of college.
You know, I will find one. Potato sack intramural, that will be me.
Very nice.
And while SPORTSFEST is over, here's what's happening this week at Elon. On Tuesday, the Center for the Study of Religion, Culture, and Society will be sponsoring a Reflections on Charlottesville panel with Elon Council on Civic Engagement. The panel will feature both professors and alumni who were in the city as journalists and activists who witnessed the events. To hear their stories, go to Whitley Auditorium at 7 p.m.
And whether you're looking to pick up a new hobby or make some new friends, you can find the right group for you at Elon's organizational fair on Friday. You can learn about and talk to members from over 250 student groups at Elon from 4 to 6 p.m. in Young Commons.
And looking forward to next week, Elon is remembering the 16th anniversary of 9/11. Starting today, the Student Government Association is selling American flags for $1, with proceeds going to the 9-level Memorial Fund. Find their table in Mosley this week to get your flag.
And after the break, we have we have a story of one student's incredible journey to Elon.
You're watching Elon Local News.
Welcome back to Elon Local News. We have Alex Hager live in studio again to tell us what Hurricane Irma will be doing over the next few days. Hey, Alex.
Thank you, Rachel. Well, we've heard a lot of buzz about Hurricane Irma coming across the Atlantic recently, but all we really know right now is that we can't be certain of anything. The latest models, which came out today, show that the storm will most likely hit the U.S. East Coast, but it's not quite clear where or when. Right now, Irma is a Category 4 tropical storm over the ocean. This graphic that you're looking at right now is from NOAA. That shows the path, which will almost certainly include Puerto Rico. But what's still being determined is when and where it will come ashore on the continental United States. Some of the models are projecting that the storm will hit Florida, but it could just as likely travel up the coast and make landfall in the Carolinas. Some of those projections, just a few of them, even show it traveling as far up as New England or going up the East Coast and then veering off back into the Atlantic. Now, if the storm is headed for the Carolinas, local authorities will be quick to update residents on how to prepare. So you're going to have to stay tuned to local authorities, the National Oceanographic Institute, which released that map earlier, and obviously Elon News Network. We will have your local forecast to tell you what the impact of Irma may be here in Elon. Back to you guys at the desk.
Okay, thank you so much, Alex, for telling us about that. I cannot believe the amount of rain that the U.S. has been getting lately. It has been unreal.
Yeah, it's hurricane season. It's it's September now, so we're creeping into that month of October where the rain really seems to start hitting the U.S.
It gets rainy, it gets dark, the sun disappears. It's just not my sort of month.
I understand. And while we still have classes today and business as usual, today is actually a national holiday. Today is Labor Day. Even though we all had classes, members of the Elon community still found time to gather in Whitley Auditorium to offer a day tribute to honor the people who worked so hard and have made this university what it is today.
Labor Day is always celebrated on the first Monday of September to honor workers and actually originated in Canada. The holiday started being celebrated in the U.S. in the 1880s. The first New York City Labor Day parade, now an annual event, was in 1882. According to CNN, Oregon was actually the first state to declare Labor Day a national holiday in the late 1800s. Nearly 100 years later, the current president at the time, Grover Cleveland, along with U.S. Congress, declared the first Monday of September as Labor Day. Today, Labor Day usually symbolizes the end of summer. You know, I don't know about you, but we really are symbolizing that Labor Day.
We got that red, white, and blue. And sometimes all it takes is a plane ride and a little perspective. Our Brooke Wivag talked to one Elon freshman who discovered her passion and identity after traveling thousands of miles away from home.
Being an immigrant in the United States can be intimidating, but Elon freshman Lucia Lozano Robledo took it in stride.
It's been a big challenge to move to a new country and do all those things, especially because immigration things are very difficult, very complicated, very stressful.
After she and her family moved from Columbia to North Carolina 5 years ago, Robledo immersed herself in the many opportunities a new country has to offer. She was a member of the Global Health Club, led a fundraiser called Yoga for a Cause, and volunteered for the Red Cross and her local YMCA. But one program she found her senior year of high school is what really inspired her passion. The program is called NC SLI, or North Carolina Student Latino Initiative. The program paired Robledo with a mentor to walk her through the college application process.
In my case, my family didn't know how it worked here, how to apply to college, and I had to apply as an international student because I'm on a student visa. So that was complicated, and no one around me knew how to handle that, what I needed to do.
Going through this program is what ultimately sparked her passion in creating more mentorship and support programs for the Latino community in the United States.
A lot of families that come to the U.S., they come with nothing, and they built something out of nothing, basically, and there is a lot of help that can be given to those families because they're just like anybody else, just like my family.
All her hard work paid off after being accepted to Elon University and receiving a full tuition scholarship. Brooke Wivag, Elon Local News.
And here at the desk, we have Jasmine Turner, a graduate of Elon University. Jasmine, can you tell me what happened down there?
Well, I was in Charlottesville. I now work for NBC 12 in Richmond, Virginia. So, as you guys probably know, there has been a very long-standing debate about the fate of Confederate statues there. So, it was a rally planned by members of the alt-right, white nationalists, neo-Nazis, and it was a very chaotic day, to be honest with you. We were sent down there to cover everything that was going on. There were those who want to protect those Confederate monuments and those counter-protesters who are against a lot of the things, pretty much everything that those who identify with the alt-right, neo-Nazis, white nationalists, everything they identify with. So it was a lot of clashing of both sides, and definitely quite the experience as a journalist and also as a person as well.
And as a reporter being there, what was kind of going through your head? I mean, from start to finish, you were there for a very long time, so what kind of unraveled in those hours?
You get right on the ground and you immediately start documenting in any way possible. So I was there with a photographer, and obviously I was doing everything on social media, and within minutes of being there, it was hard to breathe. There was pepper spray in the air, there were things flying back and forth at us, and you put your safety first, the safety of other people first as well, but you also know you've got to do your job, and people are relying on you in those moments to get the information out, because the world, I mean, has been and was watching Charlottesville on that day. I mean, I think it's been about a month now, but it was intense, very intense.
And when you got there, did you expect things to be so bad?
I mean, honestly, you never know what to expect. You have to prepare for the worst, but we will talk about it tomorrow at the panel that's happening 7 o'clock in Whitley Auditorium.
Well, thank you so, Jasmine, for taking the time to be here today. We really appreciate it.
Glad to be back.
And well, that's all we have for you today. Thank you for watching.
Make sure to follow us on social media at Elon News Network, or go to our website, elonnewsnetwork.com.
Have a great week, Elon.